What's up, guys? It's Heat. I wanted to do a video today. It's been almost 2 weeks since the new leagues have been released, and I wanted to do a video on my thoughts on the Hardcore Invasion League and the strategies that I've used to survive it. Right now, I'm level 83, so I've been doing pretty good. I've ripped twice and got to level 83, but both times I ripped were kind of low levels, so I wanted to discuss the strategies and sort of what I think about the league. So here we go. So the Invasion League is pretty cool. Like, it's very interesting. It's there's a lot of things that you have to be aware of, a lot of thinking that you have to do when you play, because in any given area you can have whatever random mob from another area that you wouldn't normally see there. So it's kind of crazy. Like, you might get dischargers in, for example, Act 1 or something, which usually never happens. So you have to be aware of these situations and stuff, and so that's why it makes it harder. Additionally, it's very stressful. It's probably one of the most stressful leagues I've played in, because you're constantly on the verge of dying. You always think that, you know, you might die at any second, because the invasion bosses are pretty crazy. Some of them are do insane amount of damage and are very dangerous, and sometimes you can run into them without knowing, and you'll take big bursts of damage, and given them whatever situation, you might just die instantly. So it's pretty insane. So in terms of the invasion bosses, usually what GGG has done in each league, they've either taken an aspect of that league and implemented overall in the game. I don't know what they're going to do with Invasion. I personally don't think that they should have an invader invade every single instance that you are in, because I feel it's too much. It's too invasive. It's too it makes the game slow down. It's too difficult. There is a point where difficulty does become an issue, but I mean, if they did decide to do that, you just have to sort of change how you play. But they might do something like they did with the Exiles, where they spawn less frequently, or the Shrines, they'll spawn less frequently, but they'll still be in the game. So we'll see. Yeah, so those are my thoughts on the league so far. Really enjoying it. Really testing your skills to the limit in how you play. Clearing speed has been a little bit slower because of this, but overall it's pretty awesome. Alright, so how did I manage to survive to level 83, and what am I doing differently in this league than I did in previous leagues to help me survive? So one thing is, I'm playing a Marauder. The Marauder tree has gotten a pretty big buff. This is pretty crazy. We have Diamond Skin, which gives +1 to all max res, and the next one's over right here. You have +1 to cold, fire, and lightning, so you can get +2 here. In addition, you can get another +2 from fire and cold res, which is pretty awesome. So right now I'm standing at 79, capped 79 fire res, which is pretty insane. It's pretty good. So a lot of the invaders do elemental damage, so this is one thing that has been helping me survive. Okay, so another thing, what else have I been doing? Well, I basically built this build is very tanky. I've picked up a lot of health. I've also decided to go with a shield instead of dual wielding wands for extra damage. So right now I have Lion's Eyes Remorse. I was lucky to be able to get this as a drop, but before that I was using this shield, which also had a lot of armor. And my block chance is, I picked up some block chance passives, AGs, which is pretty good. And I've picked up the Phalanx, which is really good. So if we take a look right now, my block chance is 46% chance to block, and I have an additional 6% applied to spells, so that's pretty good. I also have been saving the Crest of Parandus, which is 40, and then given another 3% to block. If we test that out right now, my block chance goes to 53 and 9% chance to block spells, which is actually pretty good. Could get more if I wanted to, but it is what it is. So I opted to go for more armor and block chance, which has helped me survive. Built it pretty tanky. Right now I'm at 5,000 life. I could be at more. I actually don't have life on my amulet, and I don't have dual life on my belt, so there's room for improvement. Life on this ring is fairly low. I'm using it for rarity and chaos res. This is pretty high, so yeah, basically there's room for improvement. I could probably push the limit to 53, 5,500, something like that right now. 5,300 actually if I move some stuff around. Health, so high health, decently high block, and armor from shield. So if we look, my armor is at 9,000 right now. It was at I think 6,000 before. I switched to lion's eyes, so it's still pretty high. Now the other thing that I'm doing is you have to kind of sort of think how to play your game around invasion bosses. For example, let's say that you enter an area, you get a feel for what mobs, because there can be different mobs, you won't know until you actually enter the area. So as you're playing, you'll get a feel for what mobs are supposed to be in that area. And every single invasion boss actually has a mob that spawns with it. And so if you see, one thing that you can keep an eye out for is if you see a mob that actually doesn't belong in that area, that means that there might be an invader. So that's one thing I pay attention to. That's not necessarily always the case, because you might have that same mob in that area. The other thing I do is when I run maps, basically what I do is I don't run them at 100% clearing speed that I'm used to. So I scale it back to, I would say, 70%. So I clear at 70% speed. I play a little bit more cautious until I run into the invader boss. So once I do the invader boss, I push my clearing speed up to 100% again. And this has allowed me to play slightly more cautious, but it has also allowed me to survive because I've been able to get to level 83 without dying. So you put yourself in a favorable position in order to sort of scope out what the invader is, and so you don't just barge in there blasting at 100% clearing speed and put yourself in a weird situation where you just die instantly. The other thing is I've focused a lot on chaos resist. I've actually never had a character that's had this high chaos resist, because usually I'll have around -20 and I'll have an amethyst flask, and on reaction I can just use it and I'll be fine. But in this league there's some invasion bosses which do substantial chaos damage. I almost ripped the other day in 2 seconds to one of those leaping insects that leaves chaos on leap, which was insane. I mashed both pots instantly and barely escaped with 10% health left in under 2 seconds, and I have a lot of health. So if you if you had like -40 chaos, you probably I probably would have ripped that boss instantly without being able to react. So yeah, so basically that's what I've been doing. So recap is just play a little bit slower. I focused on block. I also focused on armor. And one thing I do use is smoke mine. This is pretty good because it blinds enemies, but you have to know how to use this kind of efficiently and set it up well. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing. I've been enjoying the league. If you guys have any questions, if you have any other strategies that you've been doing to survive, just post them up. Alright, cool, thanks.